We walk a path through life that often seems solitary, and yet we find ourselves constantly pulled toward others, yearning for connection, validation, and recognition. When someone who once filled a space in your life is no longer present, emotions rise. You feel the absence. You feel the weight of silence where there used to be words. And yet, what we rarely contemplate is the opposite, the moment they too begin to feel your absence. In this journey, we will explore the signs, the behaviors, the subtle actions people exhibit when they begin to miss you. But this is not a superficial analysis. This is a deeper, philosophical journey grounded in the principles of Stoicism. We are not here to engage in the winds of emotion for their own sake, but to understand how Stoicism, an ancient philosophy grounded in self-control, fortitude, and the regulation of destructive emotions, guides us through these turbulent waters of human relationships. What happens when someone truly misses you, and how do you, as a Stoic, respond? Let us begin with the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who said, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." When we miss someone, or when someone misses us, it is not merely a fleeting feeling. It is a sign of the bonds of fate, bonds that reveal something deeper about our shared human experience. It speaks of connection, loss, and ultimately, the inner desire for reconciliation. But as Stoics, we must rise above mere emotional reaction. We must learn to see beyond the surface and into the deeper motivations that drive human behavior. 1. They reach out in subtle ways. The first thing people do when they miss you is reach out, but it's not always a grand gesture. Often, it's subtle, an innocuous message, a comment on something trivial, or a like on an old post. What they seek is not merely to re-establish contact, but to test the waters of connection. This is where you, as a Stoic, must exercise discernment. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Do not rush to respond or seek validation from these small gestures. Instead, recognize them for what they are, a reflection of their internal state, not yours. You must remain anchored, detached from the need for their attention. 2. They reminisce about the past. When someone misses you, they often retreat into the comfort of memories. You may hear from mutual friends that they've been talking about the good old days. They may share old photos or remind you of moments you spent together. Why? Because they are trying to reconnect with the emotions they felt when they were with you. But in Stoicism, we understand the danger of dwelling on the past. Seneca, in his letters, warns us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Nostalgia can be a dangerous illusion. It is not the present moment. It is a distortion of the past. As a Stoic, you must remain present and grounded, aware that their attempts to evoke the past are merely a sign of their internal unrest. It is not your responsibility to provide them with the emotional closure they seek. 3. They display indifference in public, but not in private. One of the paradoxes of human behavior is that when people miss you, they may act indifferent or aloof in public, even as their heart longs for connection in private. They will not allow themselves to show vulnerability, for vulnerability exposes weakness. But you, as a practitioner of Stoicism, must not be swayed by these surface-level displays of indifference. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. In other words, rise above the games of indifference and pride. You must remain composed and detached, recognizing that their public indifference is a mask, a shield to protect their fragile emotions. 4. They begin to mirror your behavior. When someone misses you, they may begin to mirror your actions and behaviors. It is as if they are trying to inhabit your world, to feel connected to you by emulating the way you move through life. This behavior stems from a deep psychological need for association. But as a Stoic, you must not allow yourself to be flattered by this imitation. Epictetus warns us, First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You are responsible only for your own actions, not for the reactions of others. They may seek to mirror your behavior, but you must continue on your own path, unwavering and firm in your principles. 5. They become overly curious about your life. When someone misses you, they become curious, insatiably curious, about your life. They will ask mutual friends about you. They will check your social media, often obsessively. They may even go so far as to create reasons to cross your path. But you, as a Stoic, must not be drawn into their web of curiosity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Their curiosity is an outside event. It is a distraction from your own inner peace. Focus instead on your own life, your own growth, and do not be lured by their need to know about yours. 6. They try to make you jealous. One of the more manipulative behaviors people exhibit when they miss you is the attempt to make you jealous. They may flaunt their new relationships, accomplishments, or experiences in an effort to provoke a reaction. But this is where your Stoic training must be at its strongest. Seneca reminds us, anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Jealousy is a form of anger, a destructive emotion that serves no purpose but to disturb your inner tranquility. Do not allow their attempts to provoke jealousy to succeed. Instead, remain indifferent, recognizing that their need to elicit a reaction from you is a reflection of their own emotional instability, not your worth. 7. They confess their regrets. As time passes, the weight of their regrets begins to surface. They may reach out to you with confessions of guilt, remorse, or even apologies for how they treated you. While it may be tempting to engage in these emotional confessions, the Stoic response is one of compassion without attachment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Their regrets are their own, and while you may acknowledge their feelings, you must not allow their emotional turmoil to disrupt your inner peace. Forgive, but do not entangle yourself in the web of their regrets. 8. They seek closure but struggle to let go. When someone misses you, they will often seek closure, but what they are truly seeking is a way to hold on. They may ask for one last conversation or a chance to clear the air. But as a Stoic, you must recognize that closure is not something that can be given. It is something that must be found within. Epictetus teaches us, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." You must remain detached from their need for closure, knowing that true peace comes from within, not from external validation. 9. They engage in acts of kindness. In an attempt to reconnect, they may go out of their way to do something kind for you. They may offer favors, help you with something, or give you gifts. These acts are not purely altruistic. They are a means of re-establishing the bond that has been severed. But the Stoic knows that true kindness is done without expectation of return. As Seneca wrote, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." Accept their kindness graciously, but do not allow it to sway your decisions or emotions. Your path is not determined by their actions, but by your own internal compass. 10. They express their feelings openly. At the height of their longing, they may finally express their feelings openly. They may tell you they miss you, that they think about you constantly, or that they wish things had been different. But the Stoic response is not to reciprocate these emotions, but to acknowledge them without attachment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." You must focus on the present moment, on the privilege of your own life, and not allow their emotional confessions to sway your inner peace. 11. They return to you in some form. Finally, if the bond was truly strong, they may return to you in some form. Whether it be through friendship, partnership, or simply an unspoken understanding, they will find a way back into your life. But the question you must ask yourself, as a Stoic, is this: does their return serve your greater purpose? Epictetus teaches us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, do not seek the validation of others, but rather focus on your own growth, your own journey. Their return may be a sign of their growth, but it is not the determining factor in your own. You must remain steadfast in your principles, guided by reason and virtue, not by the emotional whims of others. The Stoic response. As we have explored, when someone misses you, they will engage in a variety of behaviors, some subtle, some overt. But the true Stoic response is one of detachment, self-control, and fortitude. We do not allow the emotions of others to dictate our actions or disturb our inner peace. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Let your thoughts be clear, rational, and grounded in virtue. In the end, we are not here to control the actions of others, but to control our own reactions. Whether they miss you, reach out, reminisce, or confess their feelings, your response must always be one of strength, rooted in the Stoic principles of self-mastery and resilience. We do not need others to complete us. We are whole in ourselves, guided by the wisdom of the Stoic philosophers who have walked this path before us. Let us rise above the emotional games of the world and remain steadfast in our pursuit of virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. In the end, it is not about whether they miss you, but about whether you remain true to yourself.